Number 1 is attacks of opportunity. I have seen so many people use these wrong or mess it up. So the rule states you can make an attack of opportunity when a hostile creature that you can see moves out of your reach. Sounds pretty basic. It has to be a melee attack, but nobody really messes that part of it up. The reach part can be confused. Most melee weapons only have a reach of 5 feet, so when you move away from that 5 feet, you get an attack of opportunity. But if you're using something like a halberd, or if there's a creature that has 15 feet of reach, you don't get an attack of opportunity unless they leave your reach. If the spell or whatever says that they are feared and they need to use their reaction or their movement to move away, it does provoke an attack of opportunity. They are using their movement to walk away. Now, the other parts of attacks of opportunity that people mess up is when you don't provoke an attack of opportunity, and that is if you don't use your own movement to leave their reach. So that would be an explosion blasts you past someone or away from someone. You get shoved or pulled away, anything like that. You do not provoke an attack of opportunity. Also, I don't really see anybody messing this up, but note when you disengage for your entire turn. You don't disengage from a single person. So you don't provoke any attacks of opportunity for your turn if you use the disengage action. Number 2 is surprise. For those that don't know, when you're surprised, you basically lose your first turn. But if we actually read how it's worded, if you are surprised, you can't move or take an action on your first turn of combat, and you can't take a reaction until that turn ends. A member of a group can be surprised even if the other members aren't. That part about the reaction is what makes this most important. If you are a wizard and you are surprised, you cannot use shield until after your turn has passed. But you can still use it in the first round of combat, assuming there is an enemy attacking you after your turn. So if you roll high on initiative and you go first, you can still use your reaction for all of the attacks if the enemy goes after you. Number 3 on my list, and I don't want to admit how long I actually DM'd before I realized there was a rule for this and I didn't need to make up my own, though I wasn't too far off. And that is identifying magic objects. When a player finds a magic item, they can identify it by meditating on it for a short rest, which is about an hour typically. Though if you enjoy having your players still kind of like play around and experiment, there is an alternate rule for that. You're still free to do that, and you can even tell your players it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. But they don't learn about all the curses associated with the item, so you can still mess with them. Number 4 on this list is the ready action. Now, I'll say some people out there probably don't misuse this rule because they don't understand it, but more they just don't like it, and that's completely fine. Couple things to note. 1, you don't hold your turn. You have a specific action you will perform when the trigger is triggered. And the second is it also uses your reaction to basically activate the trigger. So if you decide to ignore it, just be ready if you have any rules lawyers at your table. And the last one that I see that is kind of frustrating for ranged players, but that is how ranged attacks work, and specifically when getting disadvantage with melee creatures within 5 feet of you. If you are within 5 feet of a hostile creature who can see you and who isn't incapacitated, you have disadvantage. Note, this is where something's a little bit interesting and different from the attack of opportunity. It doesn't say if you're within melee range. If you're within 5 feet of a hostile creature, you have disadvantage. It doesn't even have to be melee. Where this gets commonly misused is a lot of people think that means you get disadvantage shooting something within 5 feet of you. That is not how the rule works. What it's saying is if you are within 5 feet of a hostile creature, you have disadvantage on any ranged attack that you make, even if you're shooting at someone 20 feet away. Now, again, what this makes this a little bit weird is if you're 10 feet from someone with like a halberd that's hitting you, you don't have disadvantage, even though you're getting hit by someone. So yeah, that's a weird one, but that's what the rules say. If you like this video or if you learned anything new today, like this video and subscribe for some more content, and I will see you next time.